How are you guys doing this Friday? How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. We're just getting started. Just joined us live. Welcome. Thank you for joining. So we're going to get started in just a few minutes. We're going to talk about insulin resistance and what it causes in the body, which is all of these. I have them listed here, and we're going to go over these individually. If you have questions along the way, throw them in the comments. I am here for you. So I'm a 15-year emergency room nurse. I see the devastating effects that our health is having on our diet is having on our health. Our diet and lifestyle choices are ridiculous. You guys, it is ridiculous. It's not your fault though. It's not your fault. It's marketing. It's everything from above telling you that this certain things are good when they really are not, because there's an agenda behind the scenes, which is keeping you sick. So if you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, thank you for joining. Stick around. I'm going to help you, give you the solution to fix this in a natural way, a very natural way, by changing your diet, changing your lifestyle. It's not a quick fix, you guys. If you need a quick fix for your health, your belly fat, everything, I need for you to keep scrolling. This is not the live for you if you need quick fixes. This live is for people who want to have a long-term health, quality of health, quality of life, start getting off their medications. This is the live that you want to join. This is not a quick fix. I don't have a magic pill or a magic solution, powder that you're going to put in a drink and magic is going to happen. That is not the name of my game. I want to help you build habits to get off the medications, start weaning down off your medications, because you're in a sick care system right now. If you are on medications, thank you for the heart. That was sweet. Thank you so much. So keep tapping the screen. Let's push this out there. Make sure you're commenting. If anybody's joining right now, can you just at least put in the comments where you're from? I want to make sure that you can hear me, that my settings are correct, that I'm not on subscriber only situation. If you are one of my subscribers, welcome. We are going to do a subscriber only on Sunday. I'm going to have that scheduled for Sunday at 11 Central Standard Time to help you more one-on-one. So check out my subscriptions. If you need more guidance with your health for like personal guidance, I'm going to listen to what's going on in your life and give you some personalized guidance to follow throughout the week. And then you can come back on the next Sunday. So that's for my subscribers. So check that out. I just started doing that. So let's get started. We are going to talk about insulin resistance, what that causes in the body, and how we can fix it in a natural way for a sustainable life, right? You need to do this for a lifetime. This is not a quick fix, a pill, a powder. So if you need something quick, that you just need to get some pounds off quickly and then you don't really care about anything else, this is not the live for you. So you can move on. I don't want to waste your time. It does work, I promise. Was on 13 meds off, except that is amazing. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. If that's working for you, that is amazing. I love that. I love that. Hopefully you're changing your lifestyle as well, because if whatever that is goes away or you can't afford it, hopefully you know what to do naturally with diet. So thank you for the love, and all right, I thank you for putting the comments. Oh, you're keto. Okay, thank you. I thought you were talking about another powder. Unless you're doing keto with it, that is great. That's what you need to do, because those things are tools to help kind of push you in that direction. But you really need to understand like lifestyle. You need to make the changes because those aren't always going to be, or they might not always be around, right? So getting off the medications is what my goal is for you, is to start weaning you down off medications. You're going to be in communication with your doctor to get you off medications. I am sick and tired of seeing people sick and tired in the emergency room and stuck in a polypharmacy where they have a crap ton of medications. They have medications for the side effects of this medication and this medication, all because we can't change it if we just change our diet. It is evil. It is evil, and evil in the background for certain products that disguise themselves as good when they are truly not in it for your health. So there's a lot of products out there that say heart healthy and olive oil based and all these things, but when you actually look at the ingredients, they are completely opposite. So yeah, I think that's the worst kind of evil, is when they disguise themselves as good. So we know the evils, like the cookies, the pies and stuff like that, that you kind of like, it's probably not good for me, Oreos, stuff like that. But when you pick up a product and you're like, oh, this is supposed to be good for my heart, this is supposed to be good for whatever, my health, and in reality it is not, and that product is just perpetually keeping you sick, thinking that you are doing something good for your body, and you have no idea that that's the culprit. That aggravates me so much. You have to read all the labels for sure. So we're going to talk about insulin resistance. Let me see if I can fix my screen here. Just a smidgen it around here. Okay. So thank you. Start tapping the screen. I would love to get this out there more. It's Friday evening. Let's start getting our health on track. We are the beginning of January, so new year, new you, right? Let's continue this year in a great way. That way, when you go to your next New Year's resolution, you won't be disappointed in yourself, right? You're not going to be disappointed in yourself because you fell off track. That is what I'm here for, to bounce things off of, to give you support, to give you the motivation to keep going, right? We have to keep going. Once we build these habits, it's going to be easy from there to start building more and more and more habits, right? That is the goal. All right. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the love. Thank you for joining. We're going to talk about insulin resistance and how a healthy ketogenic diet is going to be the solution for all of these problems. So we're going to get started. I'm going to start out with my little drawing here. So we're going to first talk about why in the world does insulin resistance cause all of these problems and more. This is just like the main ones that most people have. If you live in America, if you have any of these, you are 80 to 90% of Americans. So you're not alone. You are not alone. There are a lot of people. I was in this category like 10 years ago, and I've healed myself on my own. I'm a 15-year emergency room nurse, travel nurse since 2010. I have a bachelor's degree in nursing. I have a bachelor's in kinesiology, and I am a certified ketogenic health coach. I got certified so I can help you in a completely different way, very natural, right? So let's get started. Why do we become insulin resistant, right? How do we become insulin resistant? We become insulin resistant because we overstimulate our insulin. We have chronic high insulin levels. Insulin is a storage hormone. So every time you spike your insulin is storing energy, storing. And insulin is an anabolic hormone. That means that it stores energy. We spike our insulin. What spikes insulin, you guys? You know what spikes insulin? Sugar. Carbohydrates will spike insulin if it's not a fiber, right? So every time you eat a carbohydrate, that is going to spike your insulin. So think about all the carbohydrates that you eat throughout the day. This is oatmeal, rice, pasta, potatoes, bread, cookies, crackers, the sugary drinks from the coffee shop, the 100% juices, most fruits. Like how often, how much are you eating in a day? You are constantly spiking your insulin. Over time, your cells stop responding to insulin. Therefore, your blood sugars are going to stay elevated longer and longer. Eventually, you're going to be in a pre-diabetic or type 2 diabetic range. That is insulin resistance. This is a dietary situation because your insulin levels are way too high. So if that's you, come on over. Let's have a conversation. Thank you for the love. So keep tapping the screen, the shares. Let's push this out there because I want to help more people. The more you interact, the more questions, the more comments, the more I'm going to stay on here and help you. That is my goal. If nobody's communicating or anything, I will end it. Right? So I need communication because it's kind of weird. I feel like I'm talking to myself. So thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. So let's talk about insulin resistance and how you can reverse that by changing your lifestyle and doing a healthy ketogenic diet. Healthy, you guys, I have to emphasize healthy because people do it dirty. I don't want people to do dirty keto. Please don't do dirty keto. That is going to cause a whole host of problems and metabolic problems that you're trying to fix. Thank you for the gift. Thank you for the gift. Don Brian 979, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Thank you. And the love, I love that. So we're going to get that number up, right? We're going to get this number up so we can push this out, and I will stay on here longer for you guys as long as I can, okay? All right, so let's talk about insulin resistance. So this is my little drawing. Okay, you guys can see me. All right, so carbohydrates. We have to really know what a carbohydrate is, right? Carbs is a energy source for the body. Do we need carbohydrates? No. They are non-essential because our body will make its own carbohydrate. It'll make its own sugar that is required for the body. So in reality, you don't have to eat any carbohydrates. You can have zero sugar, zero carbohydrates in your diet, and you will be okay as long as you're getting in enough protein and some healthy fats, because carbohydrates are non-essential because our body produces its own sugar to do the function of the body. The certain areas of the body only require sugar, and your body will make it on its own. So we don't even need to bring in carbohydrates if you didn't want to, right? But there are certain situations where you want some fiber in your diet, right? You need some fibers for your liver and your gut health, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. So carbohydrates. What is a carbohydrate? The carbohydrate that's going to have an effect on your blood sugar is the net part of the carbohydrate. So when you look at a product, you take out the fiber and any sugar alcohols that are in there. What is left over is your net carbohydrates, and that is going to spike your blood sugar. So I do the example of oatmeal because oatmeal is one of those heart healthy, amazing, like super food that people eat for breakfast because that's what they were told that was good, right? It is not. It is actually a sugar bomb in your body because oatmeal is a carbohydrate. It does have some fiber, but look at your oatmeal, right? Look at your oatmeal, turn it around, look at the serving size and take out the fiber and see how much net carbs are in there. It's probably going to be close to 30. And then depending on what you're putting in the oatmeal, right? So if you're putting fruit, honey, anything else that's carb or sugar based, it's going to spike that up even more. That is awful, especially if you are insulin resistant. If you have a lot of metabolic problems, that is not good. You are just storing that energy. You're just storing it. Your body is storing all of that belly fat. It's storing it. It's not using it. Yes, so hypoglycemia is a sign of insulin resistance because you are very correct. Ben Mikado, is that how you say your name? I'm sorry if I said that wrong. That is a sign of insulin resistance because you're producing, and I'm going to go over that in a minute because that'll make sense. You're producing way too much insulin to get your blood sugar down, and that can be reactive and drop you even more. So what you want to do is you really want to start looking at your food to make sure it's protein and healthy fats, because that's not going to spike your blood sugar to have that reaction to come down. So you want to keep a stable blood sugar. That's going to help out a lot because that is a sign of insulin resistance, because your pancreas is producing more insulin to try to get the blood sugar down. So when you eat a carbohydrate, say for instance oatmeal, right? Because oatmeal is that heart healthy thing, right? We're going to talk about the net carbs. So net carbs, net. I don't need to put an S there. Net carbs is what we're talking about. So when you eat that oatmeal, say if it's plain, it's probably roughly 30 to 40 grams of net carbs, depending on what type of oatmeal you get. When you eat that, your gastric contents, everything, it starts breaking it down, right? It breaks it down into sugar. So it will produce sugar and raise your blood sugar. So now you have an elevated blood sugar here. So normal blood sugar, you guys, normal blood sugar is 70 to 99. This is textbook. Some people can go below 70 and feel just fine. If they're metabolically healthy, they won't have any symptoms. This is textbook. If you're over 99, your pancreas is going to respond with insulin. So you just spiked your blood sugar up, right? So it's above this 99. You probably spiked it up to 140, 150 if you ate that oatmeal, depending on what you had in it. So that's a feedback loop back to the pancreas to produce insulin. So now insulin is in the bloodstream, taking these blood sugar molecules, transporting them over into cells. Most cells have insulin receptors. They have these insulin receptors that are just for insulin. Insulin knocks on the door. It's like, hey, I have this glucose, the sugar molecule I need to bring in here to use it for cellular energy. So now you have this blood sugar that was transported into the cells, right? So now your blood sugar is coming back down to this normal. This is a normal metabolic response. That is normal. A healthy person who is metabolically flexible, who doesn't have these issues, that is a normal response that happens when you eat a carbohydrate. Now, what happens over time, because we're doing this spike all day long, so if you're eating the oatmeal, you ate the oatmeal, spiked your blood sugar, now it's coming down. This happened, right? So if you are insulin resistant, you're going to feel hunger, cravings. You're going to be moody, maybe hangry. You're going to eat something, which is going to be probably a carbohydrate-based snack. So pretzels, or you went to the coffee shop and got a high sugary frappuccino thingy, which spiked your blood sugar again. And then insulin is bringing it down. And then it's lunchtime, and at lunchtime you probably ate a sandwich that had bread on it, or a bread bowl, or whatever it is that's a carbohydrate. So you spiked your blood sugar again. You went through this response, and it's bringing it down, and then you kind of feel jittery. You don't feel good because your blood sugar is dropping, or you're hungry, and then you eat a snack, which, you know, maybe you got a Snickers or whatever, and that spiked your blood sugar again, and then it's bringing down. And then you go home and you eat dinner, which is pasta, rice, a baked potato, French fries, whatever. So now it's coming down again, and then maybe you have a snack of ice cream or popcorn before you went to bed. So you're on this blood sugar insulin roller coaster ride all freaking day long. This is going to cause your cells to be resistant to insulin over time. Think of how long you've been doing this. How many years, how many decades? I've been doing it since I was a child. I'm 45 years old. I remember when I was in grade school, middle school, breakfast was Cheerios or O's because we were poor. We had the little bag, the big bag of just O's, and then I would put sugar in that, and I would have skim milk. Skim milk is just sugar water. There's nothing in that. So I basically had a sugar bomb for breakfast, and then was supposed to go to school and pay attention. Which I ended up just falling asleep and drooling on myself. So if that was anybody else, you could put a hands up in the comments, because that was me as a child. So basically I been on this blood sugar insulin roller coaster ride since I was little, since I could go to school, right? If that's you, you can throw it down. Yeah, but you might be doing, and you're type 1. So yeah, type 1 is different, completely different than type 2 for sure. So you're probably not insulin resistant. You're controlling your blood sugars externally with a insulin, external exogenous insulin. You're injecting insulin to go with how many carbohydrates you're eating. So yeah, you're completely different. And peanut butter, any fat with the oatmeal, if you're not insulin resistant, if you're metabolically healthy, because even type 1s can eventually become insulin resistant. So you can eventually get to that if you're not controlling your insulin and your carbohydrate, the same spike. So eventually your cells can become resistant as well. But for you, sounds like you're doing wonderful. Cottage cheese is amazing. Make sure it's full fat, plain. Put your own stuff in it. Full fat cottage cheese. Okay. So yeah, you're good. You're good. So this is over time what's going to happen as you're on this roller coaster ride. Over time, these cells stop responding to insulin. So you're constantly eating the carbohydrates, you're constantly, spitting out the insulin to get the blood sugar in there. Over time, cells get sick of insulin knocking on the door. They just don't hear it anymore. Think of a noise that you hear constantly over and over again. You get numb to that, right? You get kind of numb to that noise. You just don't hear it anymore. That's essentially what happens at the cellular level. Your cells stop responding to insulin coming in and knocking on the door, trying to fit sugar into the cells. This is how we get insulin resistant. So the more cells that become resistant, the higher your blood sugars are going to stay and the more insulin is going to be produced. Because if your blood sugar is elevated for a long period of time, that is not good, you guys. That is not good. That is toxic. Your body wants you in this range, so it's always trying to get you there, whether it's releasing insulin to bring the blood sugars down or releasing glucagon to bring blood sugars up. There's a balance there that your body needs to stay in. So if you're spiking blood sugar all the time, insulin is constantly going to be produced to try to control that blood sugar and bring it down. That's insulin's job, is to control your blood sugar. If your blood sugars are elevated for too long of a time, this is where people come into the emergency room in a situation called diabetic ketoacidosis. This means that blood sugars have been elevated for a long time, and these are high blood sugars that the body can't deal with. It's not getting cellular energy at all, like zero, and you're still eating the carbohydrates, so you're still spiking the blood sugar. What your body is eventually going to do is look for a different fuel source because it cannot use the sugar anymore, and those sugars are very high. So now your body is going to look for a different fuel source. It's going to break down fat. It's going to break down your muscle. It's going to break down anything it can to produce a different kind of energy called ketones. That means your ketones are going to be very, very high. So when your blood sugar is high and your ketones are high, that is a very dangerous situation. You're going to be in metabolic acidosis. That is life-threatening. You cannot stay in that state for a long time. That is life-threatening. You come into the ER, you're very sick. We put you on 2 million drips and you go to the ICU. That is very, very dangerous. You can't do that. So this is why your body prioritizes controlling your blood sugar. It's not that it's the best fuel source. It's the primary fuel source because that's the fuel source that it needs to deal with, because if it's elevated for a long time, it is very dangerous for the body. That's why it's priority number one to control and use as energy or store it as energy or whatever your body's going to do with it. Does that make sense? Oh, I love with almonds. I don't like cottage cheese. I've tried to like cottage cheese. I don't like it, but I love that if you put it with almonds, that's even better. DKA is no joke. Yep. ICU, you're in the ICU. Unless there's no beds in the ICU, then the ER nurses get to take care of you, which is fine. Unless we're super busy, you are a one-on-one patient for sure in the emergency room or the ICU. You have lots of drips. Hi, Venus. Hi, Venus. Did you have a question? Or is that a hand up? Welcome, you guys. So welcome. We are just getting started. We're going over what insulin resistance is, which means that your cells are no longer responding to insulin. Your blood sugar is going to rise. So when your body cannot regulate your blood sugar, so when insulin is produced, it's trying to put it into the cells. The more cells become resistant, the longer it's going to take for your blood sugars to start coming down, what happens is that's a feedback loop. Oh, let me get my blue pen. That's a feedback loop back to the pancreas. Yeah, spell that. Back to your pancreas to produce more insulin. So now your pancreas is going to spit out more insulin to try to bring your blood sugars down. This is where you can have a possible hypoglycemic event, because you have all this insulin trying to shove sugar somewhere, and you can drop your sugar very quickly. This is where you kind of start feeling jittery, hangry, you don't feel good, you're moody, you need to eat something, which is typically like orange juice or a piece of candy or something to bring your blood sugar back up quickly. We can avoid those situations if we control our carbohydrates. We are not going to get these crashes because your body is not going to constantly spit out insulin. This is called hyperinsulinemia. Hyperinsulinemia causes all of this. So if you have hunger, fatigue, brain fog, belly fat, fatty liver, high cholesterol, blood pressure, skin problems, PCOS, any of these, plus more, I'm just not going to be able to list everything on here. This is from high insulin levels and from your blood sugar. So if you start controlling your insulin, which means you're going to control your blood sugar, you're going to start reversing these things. That's the solution, is a healthy ketogenic diet. So let's start going over each of those. That way you'll understand why that happens, right? Why does that happen? All right. Thank you for the love. Oh, hey, you guys, look, you did it. Thank you. Thank you for the love. So as we continue, we're going to go through each one of these, and then we're going to go over healthy keto. If you guys have questions, throw them in the comments along the way. I'm here to help answer any questions you have, especially about a healthy ketogenic diet. It's very, very important, right? Very important to do it in a healthy way. Okay. Thank you for the love. Thank you. All right. Fatigue, hunger, brain fog, these kind of all go together. So if you're tired and fatigued and you have hunger and brain fog, we're going to go over those together. So if you have any of these, the fatigue, if you're tired all the time, if you need caffeine throughout the day to keep you going, or if you are hungry and craving, you can't go 3-4 hours without eating something, I need for you to put a number 1 in the comments. Put a number 1 if you are tired all the time, if you're always hungry, and even if you have brain fog. Brain fog means that you can't focus. You can't focus. Maybe you're having some memory problems. Put a number 1 in the comments if that's you, if that sounds like you. It's Friday night. Where is everybody? Where is everybody? Where is everybody at? It's Friday. It is cold and snowy. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in the world, in the other places, if people are snowed in or not. I'm snowed in. Like, I can't get anywhere. Our cars are snowed in. We have this thick layer of ice underneath the snow, so we're stuck here. Maybe nobody else is. Maybe everybody's like, oh, it's great. It's Friday. I'm going out. So maybe Fridays aren't a good time to do live. So, thank you for the love. Thank you for the love, you guys. Oh, hold on. I don't know. I can't get this off. So that's my ketogenic. That is my course. If anybody's ever interested in doing keto in a healthy and safe way, I created my own course. That's all online. That is what that is all about. If you have questions about that, please throw them in the comments. I will help you answer any questions. Okay, so thank you for joining. So I guess hunger, fatigue, craving, brain fog, that is because your cells are not getting energy anymore. When you're insulin resistant, your cells are starving of energy, of nutrients. You have trillions of cells all over your body. Trillions and trillions of cells all over your body, including brain cells, skin cells, everywhere, and those cells do the function of that system. So if you have, the cells of your heart do the heart function, and so on and so forth. So the brain cells, if they are not getting energy, you are going to have less focus. You're going to have memory problems. The brain requires a lot of energy. think of how much the brain does in a day. Like, that is crazy how much the brain does. It's insane. Just talking, just standing here, just being in this position, my brain is functioning and firing. It requires a lot of energy. So if it's not getting enough glucose because the brain cells are resistant, then you're going to have brain fog and you're not going to have very good function or memory of your brain. That is because the brain cells are resisting insulin. So insulin can't bring the sugar, which is very necessary for the brain. If you're hungry and craving all the time, that is a problem too, because your cells, you're hungry, you're craving because your cells are not getting the nutrients. If your cells are not getting the nutrients, it's telling you to bring me nutrition. Please eat something. I have no energy. If you're tired all the time because your cells are not getting the sugar in it anymore because they are resisting insulin. So you're tired and fatigued all the time. That's your cells, that's your body telling you, hello, I have zero energy. Can you please bring me some energy? This is where you drink the Monsters, the Red Bulls, the caffeine, the sodas to keep you functioning. That's the caffeine. That is not good. That is not good. That's because your cells are starving of energy. The other part with the cravings is because of the highly processed foods that we eat all the time. When you eat highly processed foods, they have a lot of chemicals in it. Hey, Tammy. Thank you. Thanks for the love, you guys. Thanks for the love, the shares. There's no sound. You're saying there's no sound. So can anybody not hear me? You can't hear me? Okay. Yeah, my microphone's still no sound. Maybe that's why I don't have anybody on here. Let me, I don't know. Tammy, is it on your end? So Don Bryan, she's saying that you can hear me. If nobody else can hear me, let me put a comment in. That could be the reason why. Can you hear me? If you guys can hear me, put a thumbs up. I don't know. Okay, you can hear me. Okay, good. Thank you. I was like, what's happening? Tammy, maybe, is it something on your phone? Because I'm getting thumbs up. Okay. Thank you guys. I thought maybe it was me. I turned on and off the microphone. So hopefully seeing if it was that. Okay. All right. Thank you. So that is hunger, cravings, brain fog. If you have any questions about those, if you didn't hear me, you went out and then came back in. Okay. That is hunger, craving, brain fog, fatigue. That just, your cells are not getting any energy because they are resisting insulin. So insulin levels are elevated. They're high because it cannot get the sugar into the cell. So your pancreas is stimulating and giving and putting out more insulin, trying to get energy into the cells. But this is why you're fatigued, hunger, and you have brain fog, because your cells are not getting the energy and it doesn't understand a different fuel source. Plus, we're eating a lot of processed foods. They have a lot of chemicals. Chemists are very, very smart, man. They are so smart. they make things taste better. Like a strawberry anything is going to taste like just this crazy hyper palatable taste. That's not what a strawberry tastes like if you have a real strawberry from the garden, right? It's different. So what that does is it hits the dopamine receptors of your brain and it makes you crave it more. So as soon as you eat that, you get that hit of dopamine and your body's like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. Can I have more? That's a feel-good response. It makes you want more. Once you pop, you can't stop, right? That is why you are hungry and craving. The other one is because your cells aren't getting the energy anymore because they are resisting insulin because of our diets. Okay. That is fatigue, tired, hunger, craving, brain fog. You have to fix it. If you don't fix it, your brain is going to get worse and worse and worse. This is where increased memory problems come in. This is where dementia comes in. Alzheimer's disease is type 3 diabetes, right? So we have to fix it. You have to intervene to start changing your diet, changing the way that you're eating so that your brain can use a different fuel source while your cells are healing. You have the ability to use ketones. Ketones are fat metabolism. When your fat starts breaking down and breaks down into ketones. This is a healthy ketogenic diet. This is what's going to help you reverse your metabolic problems so that you can eventually be metabolically flexible. You need to be able to use both. This is a normal human person. A normal human person can switch from carbohydrates to fat and do the combination of both whenever it needs it, depending on what is happening in your life. If you're going for sprinting, if you're just walking around, if you're bending over, if you're sitting, if you're doing some mental project, your body switches from different fuel sources all the time to be utilized depending on what you're doing. If you are stuck in a carb-dependent fed state, your body is stuck there and it does not know how to switch back and forth very efficiently to be able to use different fuel sources. This is why you have an excessive amount of belly fat. This is why your hunger, your cravings, your brain fog, all the things is because you are not metabolically flexible anymore. It is not your fault. It's marketing. It's everything out and above us that is telling you that things are good when they are not good. They're there just to profit off of you and keep you in a sick care system to be dependent on medications and the sick care system. I don't call it a health care system. It's a sick care system. They help you to stay sick. When you're sick, you're going in and you're going to stay sick because they're going to give you medicines after medicines after medicines to fix it. That you are not medication deficient. Your cells are trying to tell you something. You have to listen, right? We have to listen. We ignore our bodies all the time when it tries to tell us. It wants you to survive and reproduce. That's all your body wants, right? Okay, the next one, belly fat, you guys. Belly fat and a fatty liver, these two go together. So if you have a belly fat. So if you have this belly, if you look down and you can't see your toes because your belly's in a way, I want you to put a number 2 in the comments. Put a number 2 in the comments. If you have belly fat, I want you to put a number 2 in the comments. So if you look down and you can't see your toes because you have a belly, that is belly fat. So you have this abdominal fat right here. So put a number 2 in the comments if that is you. If that is you, you most likely, thank you for the share. Is it Yabika? Yabika? Is that how you say that? Belly fat and non-alcoholic fatty liver, those typically go together. Why? If you have a large obese belly, you most likely have a non-alcoholic fatty liver. It's just not diagnosed. Your doctor is not going to look for it unless you have elevated liver enzymes or unless you do they do a CAT scan for whatever reason. Maybe they're looking at your gallbladder or gallstones or whatever abdominal pain that you're having. That's how we find it in the emergency room, because you come in with reason. Maybe they're looking at your gallbladder or gallstones or whatever abdominal pain that you're having. That's how we find it in the emergency room, because you come in with abdominal pain and we do a CAT scan and it's like, oh, hey, look, you have a fatty liver as well. It's not routinely checked. It's not going to be, because there's not a medication that's going to fix it unless your cholesterol levels are high. And then that's a whole nother topic, right? That's a whole nother topic. But fatty liver, I had somebody reach out to me the other day telling me that their doctor said they caught a fatty liver on an ultrasound, and he said, don't worry about it. Most Americans have a fatty liver. It's nothing to worry about. Oh my gosh, are you serious? You guys, you can't live without your liver. You cannot live without your liver. Your liver needs to be on point and functioning. If it's not, you're going to have a backup of all kinds of problems. Your liver does a lot to keep you alive. It does so much to keep you alive. It's crazy how many jobs the liver has. So if you have belly fat, you most likely have a fatty liver. So why do we get that? How do we get these excessive amount of belly fat? From insulin resistance, from the blood sugar. So when you have elevated blood sugar that can't get into the cells, insulin is going to take that down to the liver. The liver is going to turn that into fat because your blood sugar has to be controlled. It has to be, your blood sugar needs to be here. Your body is always trying to get your blood sugar under control. If it's not under control, if it's elevated, your insulin is going to take it to the liver, and the liver is going to turn that excess blood sugar into fat. Fatty deposits in and around the liver is a non-alcoholic fatty liver, and your liver sits on the right upper side, so you're going to start accumulating fat in this area. This is a belly. You have an obese belly, a big abdomen. This is why you have that, because you are insulin resistant. The cells are resisting insulin, so insulin's taking excess blood sugar to the liver, and the liver is turning it into fat. You have to fix your hormones. If you struggle with losing weight and keeping it off sustainably, it's not a calorie situation. You have to get your hormones, which insulin is a hormone, you have to get that under control. Stop spiking insulin. You have to stop spiking insulin. Eventually, that means that your body is going to turn for your stored body fat for fuel. This is how you fix it, right? You store energy very, very well. This is morbid obesity. Morbid obesity is stored energy. Everybody who has excess amount of fat on their body, that is stored energy because of what you're eating. You eat a lot of carbohydrates, a lot of sugar that turns into energy. Your body has to deal with it. It's going to store it. You can store an endless amount of fat. You can see that. You can see that out in society. You have an endless amount of fat. That is belly fat and fatty liver. How do you fix that? Stop spiking insulin, right? You have to stop spiking insulin. Thank you for the share and the love, you guys. Thank you. Friday is not a hot day. Maybe there's too many other entertainers. There's too many entertainers on a Friday night. I am not very entertaining. I don't sing or dance. Okay. High cholesterol and high blood pressure. This is next. If you are on here and you have high blood pressure or high cholesterol, put a number 3 in the comments. Who's got high blood pressure and or high cholesterol? Either one. I want you to put a number 3 in the comments. Number 3. If you have high blood pressure, there's a 3. Thank you. Thank you. If you have high blood pressure or high cholesterol, put a number 3 in the comments. Thank you, Venus. Thank you. Resin, hi. Thank you, thank you. Is it Mary 8 Potty? Mary 8 Potty. I like that. High cholesterol, high blood pressure. We're going to go over both of those together, okay? High blood pressure. Why in the world? Once I explain this to you, you're going to be like, oh my gosh. You can fix it. You can fix it. Again, with diet. This is a diet-related condition. Most of the time, high blood pressure is a diet-related condition. Not all the time. There's other secondary issues that are going on. Primarily, they don't know why you have high blood pressure. It's because of diet. When we go back, so let's talk about the high blood pressure. Going back to insulin. When your body cannot control the insulin, or their blood sugar is not coming down as quickly as it wants to, you produce more and more and more and more insulin. So if you're eating and spiking blood sugar and insulin all day long, this is hyperinsulinemia. Hyperinsulinemia means that your insulin levels are very high. You can have your doctor check this. It's a fasting insulin test. Check a fasting insulin. Check fasting insulin. If you check a fasting insulin test, if you're going in to get blood work done, ask your doctor for that too, because you're most likely already going to be fasting. So get an insulin test too. This is going to show you how high your insulin levels are. Okay, fasting insulin. Why does that matter? Insulin causes a lot of problems here. Causes a lot of problems. When you have high insulin levels, it's going to tell your kidneys to hold on to more sodium. Sodium chloride. Sodium is salt. So when you hold on to more salt, what follows salt, you guys? Water. When you have a lot of salt, it holds on to more water. So when you have high insulin levels, it tells your kidneys to hold on to more salt, which means you're going to hold on to more water. This is going to increase the volume of your blood. This is how you can get edema, like swelling in the legs. This is how you can get on water pills like hydrochlorothiazide, because you have excessive amount of fluid in your vascular system, in your circulation. So this is going to cause a pressure problem because you're putting more volume in a like closed loop thing here. That is a higher pressure situation. This is why your doctor tells you to go on a low sodium diet. It's not sodium's fault, it's insulin's fault. Sodium is not the problem. We need sodium chloride. Sodium is essential for life, for a human's life. If your sodium levels get too low, you're also in the emergency room with hyponatremia or hypernatremia, depending on which way you're going. That is life-threatening. That can cause seizures. It can cause all kinds of problems. So that is you need sodium. So it is not sodium's fault though. It is insulin's fault. So when you start dropping insulin, when you do a healthy ketogenic diet, you're going to, one, get rid of a lot of processed foods that have the sodium preservative in it. That's not a healthy form of sodium. You're going to get rid of a lot of that. You're going to keep your insulin levels low, which is going to tell your kidneys, I don't need to hold on to so much salt and water. So you're going to expel all this fluid, this excessive amount of fluid that's circulating in your body, the edema, the inflammation. You're going to start getting rid of that. That is one medication, if you communicate with your doctor, which you should be, to possibly get off of, depending on why you're on that medication. Lasix and stuff, that could be something different. With the heart, you have to talk to your doctor about that, right? Because that is why you're holding on to so much fluid, getting a higher volume of circulating blood, right? And that causes a pressure. Sea salt is so good. Buck Hunter, sea salt daily is amazing. Sea salt. Don't use the white demineralized bleached table salt. Salt does not look that white. You need to get like a good sea salt. Himalayan pink sea salt. I use Redmond's real salt. Baja Gold is another one. Celtic salt is another one. Those are salts that you want to use because they have sodium chloride and they have like 80 plus microminerals that are also included in natural salt that you need, your body likes to have, right? It gives you energy. A pinch, yep. If you are on a healthy ketogenic diet and you're starting to lose this fluid, you want to do more than just a pinch. So in my course and in my free ebook, I give an example of an elixir that you can make. Get yourself some water, like your glass of water here. Put a 1/4 teaspoon of your sea salt and squeeze like a lemon or lime. Drink this. This is your morning hydration that you can have in the morning, and do it throughout the day if you want to do that. You can also sprinkle, make sure, your sea salt in your food. Okay. All right. That is one reason why you can have blood pressure problems, is because of that fluid buildup. The other reason why you can have blood pressure problems is the blood sugar. So you have endothelial cells that line your blood vessels. So you have these cells that line your blood vessels. These endothelial cells, like I said before, you have trillions of cells all over your body that does the function of the system, whatever the function that is. So the endothelial cells, though the function of those cells is to relax and contract your vessels, pump the heart, pump the blood through, stuff like that. That's their function. They need certain electrolytes, sodium chloride, magnesium, potassium is a big one. They need to get those in and out of the cells for the electrical activity to pump the blood, right? To pump the vessels, that's your heart beating, right? It needs that. That is very important. What happens if your blood sugar stays elevated? So if you have these high fasting blood sugars, even if they're like 101, 102, 103, if you went and got your blood work done and your doctor's like, your fasting blood sugar was 103, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. It's not that elevated. We'll just check it next time. Don't ignore that. That's a big red flag. Big red flag that your body is not controlling your blood sugar. You need to intervene now. You need to do that now, because what's happening is these elevated blood sugars, if you're above 99 all the time, those blood sugar molecules are sticking to your endothelial cells. So endothelial cells do not have insulin receptors on them. So most cells have these insulin receptors that can control insulin bringing sugar in and out of the cell. Your endothelial cells do not have those receptors, which means that sugar just is going to stick to the side. It's just going to stick and glycate and cause inflammation and cause damage to these cells, which means that you're not going to get electrolytes like potassium to get in and out of those cells efficiently. It's going to be very difficult, which means that you're going to have stiffer arteries, right? So if your arteries cannot contract and relax with your blood pumping, so now you have a higher volume of blood because of the high insulin levels holding on to water, so you have a higher volume of blood, and then you have arteries that are stiffer because of the glycation happening here from your high blood sugars. So you have stiffer arteries and a higher volume of blood. So that's a lot of pressure happening as your heart is pumping. That's pressure that's going to back up. That's your high blood pressure because of high blood sugar and because of high insulin levels. You can reverse this. Keep your blood sugars low, right? Keep your blood sugars stable, normal. And you do that by controlling your insulin levels. So every time when you eat the foods that don't spike your blood sugar. Give your cells time to heal. They need to heal, right? Hi, Kels J. Hi, my diabetes is slowing going away by not eating the top 5 inflammatory foods. Right. Sugar should be in one of those top 5s, and inflammatory oils, I'm assuming, is going to be in there too. You have to get those down. Get those out of the diet. That is perfect. I'm so glad that you are going in the right direction. You're trending in the right direction. So that's amazing. Yes, if you have high blood sugar, yes, you need to cut out carbs. Carbs are sugar. Carbs are sugar. I can't any carbohydrate that is not a fiber. So that is why they put fiber on product labels. Under total carbohydrates, there's fiber there. Take out the fiber out of that total carbohydrate. That is the net carb, and that's going to cause a blood sugar response. So the 3 categories of food, Cheyenne 7715, the 3 categories of food that's not going to spike your blood sugar is fiber, healthy fats, and protein. You want those 3, and a combination would be preferred, like making an omelet in the morning, put some cheese and avocado on top. Big ass salad with some strips of chicken and olive oil for lunch. For dinner, grill a steak and put roasted asparagus next to it. That's a ketogenic day. You want to keep doing that every single day until you get your your health under control until you reach your health goal. Whatever your health goal is, that's how long you're going to stay on this until you reach that goal. Fruits, yes. Most fruits have a lot of fructose in it. Even though it's a natural sugar, you have to eliminate it for the time being until you get your cells sensitive again to insulin so that it can utilize that sugar. So the fruits that are the best are lemons, limes, avocados, berries. Those are the fruits for the time being that you can have, right? Should I restrict my weight loss? I don't know what you mean. Hey, Mama Sky. I don't know what you mean by that. Please elaborate. What does a glucose mean of 140? Is that's high. That's very, very high. Is that fasting or after you eat? Either way, that's really high. This is where your blood sugar needs to be. Between 70 and 99. If it pops up above 99, that's after you ate. You really don't want it to go higher than like a 110, maybe 115, depending on your metabolic, what you're trying to accomplish, right? If you're insulin resistant, if you have a lot of these, you do not want to spike your blood sugar. You need to keep that down. So all the carbohydrates that are not fiber, you have to eliminate those. Switch them out with a above ground vegetable and a healthy fat and a protein. I have a list of foods. So if you go here, the link in my bio, I have a free ebook that has a list of food and sample meals to help you get started. Fasting is amazing if you can fast, but you still have to keep your blood sugars under control in your eating window if you are trying to reverse this, because fasting for 12, 15, 16 hours is going to be very helpful because you're not spiking your blood sugars. That is going to be amazing. It's going to start cleaning house, but you have stored glycogen. Glycogen is stored in the liver and in the muscles. You have a lot of it stored. You have to deplete that before your body can understand how to efficiently use fat for fuel on a regular basis and to heal the cells. Because if you are trying to reverse this stuff, this is going to take time. I don't know what your health goal is, Cheyenne, but you have to keep doing that to get that under control. Yeah, if you can do a water fast, that is amazing. You're losing Mama Sky, you're losing are you peeing a lot? You might be, if it's weight, because you were, from the last live yesterday, were you 7 days? I think you were just a week into it. That's water. That's most likely water weight, because you're doing good, keeping your insulin levels low, which is expelling a lot of that inflammation and stuff. You have to make sure you're getting fluids and electrolytes in. That is the weight that you're losing. You will know when you start utilizing ketones for fuel. You'll have a lot of energy. Your hunger and cravings will start going away. You'll know. That might be what you're losing, because I think you said you were like on day 7. Yeah, so your edema is gone. Yeah, so you're doing great. Keep riding the wave. Make sure that you are staying hydrated with electrolytes, not just water. Water is just you're just going to pee it out. You need to get the electrolytes in to get the water into the cells. The electrolytes pull water in and out of the cells for cellular hydration. If you don't do that, you're going to get really tired. You're going to have muscle cramps, Charlie horses, really bad fatigue. This is the keto flu. So you have to make sure you get that in. That's very important. That's like my essentials for day 1 when people are in my course. These are your essentials. I have a list of essentials that you need to get before you move any forward, before you go any forward anymore, because by the end of the week, you're gonna need those electrolytes. You need to start replacing them right at the beginning so you can stay on top of it. You're losing weight. That's amazing. Oh, your A1C is down to 5.7. Cheyenne, keep going. You need to get that lower, but you are in the right direction. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. 70 pounds down since the first. You're amazing. No, that's water weight. It's not fat. It's not fat. If you're losing a lot of fat from calorie restrictive diets, that can be because you're probably losing muscle and stuff because of the calorie restriction. So make sure you're getting enough protein, the fiber, and the electrolytes and water. This early, you're losing a lot of water weight. That's that inflammation. So you're good. You're good. Okay. So that's blood pressure, you guys. So your insulin levels coming down and your blood sugar causing problems here, not allowing your vessels to relax and contract. So now you have stiffer arteries and more volume of blood causing a high blood pressure problem, all from insulin resistance because your insulin levels are high and your blood sugars are elevated. Yep, you're doing good, Mom Sky. Welcome back. Welcome back. Happy Friday. Do I sell any products? I do not. The only thing that I sell is my course that I created. It's a 21-day keto kickstart course to help you build habits along the way. So that is here. Teach you exercise, resistance training, help you with sleep and monitoring stress, and you're in a private keto community where you can ask questions along the way. I help you understand advanced lab tests and printouts that you can bring to your doctor for lab testing, and a private one-on-one coaching call at the end. So that's lifetime access, one-time fee, lifetime access. I don't do subscriptions there. The only subscription that I just started, actually, you guys, so TikTok has this subscription. If I put another tier on there, because this Sunday at 11 Central Standard Time, if you are a subscriber on the TikTok subscription, I'm going to go live for those subscribers to help you with more one-on-one coaching. So anybody who's on that tier, that advanced tier, I'm going to offer like 10 to maybe even 15 minutes of coaching for you to get you rolling. That way, when you come back in the next Sunday, we can advance your planning from there. That's a whole subscription that TikTok does now. So I'm gonna utilize that for anybody who wants to do that subscriber only. It's gonna be Sunday at 11 if anybody wants to join that. So that's something cool I didn't realize TikTok did. So we're gonna do that. I do not do telehealth. I do Zoom calls. So if you want to book like a one-on-one 30-minute call with me, so I'm a health coach, so I can coach you and look into your personal life, whatever you're doing, to help guide you along the way. So I'll do that. I do Zoom calls. If you want that, you can direct message me and I will send you a booking page. Does that make sense? Because I'm just a one. I don't work with a company. I don't work at a hospital. I don't work with a doctor. I'm a business of one. I'm an emergency room nurse and a ketogenic health coach. So I'm my own person. I don't like restrictions. If I worked with a company or something. So that's why. Anyways, okay. Mom of Sky, thank you for the question. Thank you so much. So we were talking about blood pressure. If anybody has questions about the high blood pressure, you can throw that in the comments. Whatever question you have about that, throw it in the comments. If you have a question why insulin resistance causes high blood pressure. So I went over 2 reasons. Now we're going to go over high cholesterol. If you have high cholesterol, put a 3 in the comments. Let's see those 3s again. If you have high cholesterol, put a 3 in the comments. There's 3s. Okay. Cholesterol. Why do we get high cholesterol if you are insulin resistant? Mama Bear, hi. Hi, Mama Bear. Marisa, is it Marisa? Oh, I missed it. I missed your last name. Erland. Thank you for the 3s. Resin, thank you for the 3s. I know you have other, but you're going in the right direction, Mama Sky. You are going in just 1 week. You started this. And your edema is already gone. Like, how long have you had that? Like, how many years have you had this edema situation and in 1 week you got it down? Just by lowering your insulin levels and doing this healthy way. I think you're doing carnivore though, aren't you? But keto will do the same thing. You're just bringing in fiber from vegetables. Elio, hi Elio. 3 years, I know. So 3 years you've had this edema and now you got rid of it in a week. It's crazy. Just by changing the food. It's crazy what that does. What test should we recommend to the doctor to analyze our blood if we are insulin resistant? Elio, right here. Fasting insulin. Have them check a fasting insulin test. They might do like a HOMA IR or something like that, but they need to check a fasting insulin. Very important to see where you're at. It should not be over 5. You want it to be 5 or below to really get control of your insulin. Hi, Mama Bear. Okay. All right. So high cholesterol. If you have high cholesterol, I got the 3s that came in, so let's talk about cholesterol. Cholesterol is very necessary for the body. Your liver makes cholesterol. It makes cholesterol for a reason. It makes something like 3,000 milligrams of cholesterol a day. It's something crazy. The cholesterol that you're eating really doesn't have an impact on your total cholesterol because your body is going to balance out what it needs. So if it doesn't need the dietary cholesterol that you're bringing in, it's going to eliminate it, right? It's going to get rid of it. Your liver's going to balance all of this out. Why do you need cholesterol? Why is that so important? For many reasons. I'm going to go over just a few of them. One of them, it's the outer layer of all of our cells. So we have trillions of cells all over our bodies. They always replicating and dying off and being reborn, right? We're always replicating and making new cells. So we need cholesterol to make those cells. That's the outer layer, the lipid layer of our cells is made of cholesterol. That is 1. 2, we need cholesterol for vitamin D. Vitamin D needs to have cholesterol with it to be synthesized. You need cholesterol to make sex hormones and cortisol. Cholesterol is very important there. Cholesterol is the outer layer of our nerves. So our nerves have myelin sheaths that protect it. That is made of cholesterol. Cholesterol goes to the scene of the crime when you have damaged part of your vessel. So from that blood pressure being high, from your insulin levels and your blood sugars being high, causing inflammation here. So now your blood pressure is high, causing a lot of damage to the vessels here. So you get this damaged area, cholesterol comes to the scene to put a Band-Aid over it. It's not the villain, it's just at the scene of the crime to put a Band-Aid over the damaged part of the inside of your vessel. So if you have a lot of damaged areas going on, this could be a reason why your cholesterol is elevated, because you need more cholesterol to fix damaged areas or whatever's going on, right? Calcium comes into play here. It makes it really hard. What happens here is you can get this bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then eventually you're going to have restricted blood flow from the inflammation and this. So you're going to have chest pain. You're going to have issues. Your doctors, get an EKG. You could be having a heart attack. You're going to go in there and put a stent to open that up. If they can't get a stent, depending on where it is in the heart, that means you have to go get a bypass. You have to get the zipper and get it fixed that way. This can also break off, causing strokes, causing heart attacks as well. That is a huge deal. This is not just some crazy dietary intervention that's just to make you lose a little weight. This is a serious situation because of all of this, because of our diets that are so highly processed with so many carbohydrates, driving up this insulin and driving up all this inflammation, causing strokes and heart attacks, you guys. Like, this is not okay. That is not okay that we're not getting to the root cause of this to reverse it. This is not a medication situation. This is not a medication deficiency. Do you know how many people come into the emergency room who are having heart attacks, and when I'm going through their medications, they're on cholesterol medicine? Why? Didn't prevent you from having a heart attack. It makes me so mad. Had to pick up my pen. Okay. Okay. Sorry, that was my high horse. That makes me so mad. And then they're on 1,000,002 medications and they're still coming in with strokes or heart attacks. And I'm like, what, why? What, did we fix their diet? Did we fix their lifestyle? No, we just added more pills, which obviously didn't help. This makes me so mad, you guys, that this is why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. Because I'm sick and tired of seeing people sick and tired. I'm sick of it. This is why I'm here. I want to help as many people as I can come on here and enlighten somebody, make a light bulb come on and be like, maybe it is my diet. That's great. That is great. If that light bulb switched on, you're like, okay, well, maybe I should stop eating so many carbohydrates. Let's see how that works. Try it. Try it out like Mama Sky just did for a week and now her edema's gone. Try it. This is a proper human diet. The healthy ketogenic diet is what humans eat. It's healthy fats, it's protein, it's fiber. Like that is a human diet. It is back in our hunter-gatherer days, that's what they ate. Like they didn't have industrialized food. They didn't have all this highly processed bull crap that your body is like, what is this? And what am I supposed to do with it? This hasn't got any vitamins, nutrients, micro minerals. It doesn't have any substance in it that is going to nourish my body and help me make healthy cells and give me energy. Your body wants to survive and reproduce. That's all it wants to do. It does not care about what you look like. It does not care about what your food tastes like. It wants you to survive and reproduce and be healthy, to be able to survive and reproduce. That's, I don't know what else to say. It's not easy to change your habits that you've had for your whole life. For example, for me, I've been eating like crap since I was little, because fat was bad. My mom grew up, fat was bad. You're not supposed to have fat. So that's how I grew up, not having fat in the house. Everything was trimmed off. We had high carbohydrates and a whole bunch of sugar every damn day and no fat. Everything was skim or fat-free. That's why I had problems. I had brain fog, skin problems, memory problems. I had a poochy belly. Not a obese belly, but I bet you I had more visceral fat. I wish I would have checked visceral fat. Visceral fat is a very dangerous fat. You have a normal amount of visceral fat that goes in and around the organs. That's normal. But we can accumulate a lot of visceral fat because all that blood sugar goes to the liver and the liver turns it into fat to control the blood sugars that can't get into the cells anymore because your cells are resisting insulin now. That can accumulate internally, causing more visceral fat that accumulates in and around it. It's like Play-Doh that kind of infiltrates all around the organs and into the muscles. Think about that. That's another reason you can have high blood pressure. Think about an excessive amount of like dense fat around the heart. Do you think that heart's not going to be able to expand very well? It's going to be hard to do when you have an abundance of visceral fat. Your organs, your breathing, like your diaphragm, if there's a lot of fat accumulating, you can't take a deep breath because you have all this dense fat around there. That's visceral fat. That is very dangerous fat, and it causes a lot of inflammation 24/7. It doesn't go away. It doesn't go away when you're sleeping. It's there all the time. That can cause skin problems, right? Fatigue. Your immune system is rampant constantly, so you're always sick, right? You're always sick because your immune system is attacking all this inflammation all the time. This is why you get colds and you get sick and you get the flu and you get all these things very easily because your immune system's wrecked. So you get rid of visceral fat the same way. So what's going to happen when you start a healthy ketogenic diet and you're getting the healthy fats and the protein and you're keeping insulin levels low? You're keeping insulin levels low because you're keeping your blood sugar stable. What's going to happen is your body is going to start turning to fat for fuel. It's going to break down that fat. It's going to look for the internal fat first because, again, it does not care about what you look like. It wants you to survive and reproduce. So it's going to turn to that visceral fat. It's going to turn to the liver fat. It's going to break those fats down first to start producing ketones so that you can use that for energy instead of relying on sugar. This is being fat adapted. You're going to know that your body is relying on these ketones because you're going to have energy. You're not going to be hungry. Your brain fog's going to start going away. Your skin's going to start clearing up. Your inflammation's going to start going away. Your pain's going to start getting better, and so on and so on and so on. You have to keep at this until you get to your health goal, whatever that is. If that's reversing all of this stuff, because you want to get a fasting insulin done at some point so you can track your insulin levels to really see if you reversed your insulin resistance. Does that make sense? Shrina, is it Shreni 6? Does that make sense? But if we lose weight with that diet, we look skinny and healthy too. Tara, that is a great, thank you for putting that in there. Thank you for putting that in there. This is very important. What is happening? This is why I advocate and I really teach a healthy ketogenic diet because of that right there. The reason why people can kind of look sickly and unhealthy for a couple reasons. One, you're not bringing in the nutrition. You've got to bring in B vitamins, electrolytes, minerals, all of these things into your body so that it starts, as it's repairing the cells and the tissues and all these things, it needs the proper nutrients to do that, to make your skin start looking better. Your energy, all the things, their hair is going to look better, everything, your hair, skin, nails. This, you need protein. You need protein. This is like a moderate amount of protein. You have to have that in because of all your cells, your blood cells, your skin, your cartilage, everything, your muscles, they need protein. So a lot of times when people are looking sickly, one, they're not getting in enough protein to keep their muscles. They're not getting enough nutrition in. That's very important. And the healthy fats, we'll go over that in a little bit too. What also happens is at the beginning of a ketogenic diet, you lose all the glycogen. Glycogen is the storage form of sugar. You store a lot of glycogen in the liver and you store a lot of glycogen in your muscles. So as your body you're not bringing in the sugar anymore, you're not bringing in the carbohydrates anymore. So your body is first going to start looking for that internal stored sugar to get rid of. Because sugar is the primary energy source, it's not used to using fat for fuel. So you're going to lose a lot of glycogen from your muscles, which means that your muscles are going to kind of look deflated. You didn't lose muscle tissue because you're keeping up with the protein, right? This is very important why you need to get protein in. But your muscles are going to just look like you let the air out of a balloon. They're going to look a little deflated because of that glycogen. Glycogen holds onto water. Think of the word carbohydrate. Carbohydrate. Carbs hold on to water. Glycogen is a carbohydrate, a stored form of carbohydrate. So it's holding on to water. So when you eliminate all this glycogen from your muscle and your liver, that water comes with it. This is another reason why you have to stay hydrated with electrolytes to bring that water back in, to get hydrated again with electrolytes. Very important. So that is the reason why people don't do keto in a healthy and safe way. This is why I created the course, because I get a lot of that in my DMs and stuff. People are like, I just feel awful. I look awful, like something's wrong. My hair's thinning. This is why, because people, and it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's just, this is what we decide to do. We still stick with the highly processed foods that are keto friendly, and they don't have nutrition. You're not bringing in the nutrients. You're not bringing in the water. You're not bringing in the electrolytes and the protein and all the stuff that you need. So that could be why. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Yes, you can reduce visceral fat with fasting. So, and autophagy, absolutely. So that's going to start cleaning house. Anytime you're not eating and spiking blood sugar, anytime you're not spiking insulin, anytime you are not spiking insulin, whether it's the foods that you're eating, you're not spiking insulin, or you're fasting, you're not spiking insulin, your body is going to look for your body fat for fuel. Right? That's what it's going to do, because you don't have the sugar coming in. You depleted your glycogen from the liver and the muscles. Your body is going to look for the stored fat for fuel. It's going to look to visceral fat and liver fat first, because those two are the most dangerous, and that's what your body is going to attack first. You literally are getting healthy from the inside out. When you start losing this fat, that means your internal fat is getting under control, and your body can start looking at this external, because it's internal to external. You're very welcome. Water with electrolytes. So you can there's different ways that you can get your electrolytes in. You can get a glass of water, like in the morning. I teach this a lot. You can get it. It's in my free ebook and in my course too. Get a glass of water. Get some lemons or limes, whichever one you prefer. It doesn't matter, either one. Squeeze that in your water and put a 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. Sea salt. You have to have sea salt, not table salt, not the bleached demineralized salt that's on tables. You want good sea salts. This could be a Redmond's real salt, a Celtic salt, a Baja Gold, pink Himalayan pink sea salts, whatever it is. That is what you want, a 1/4 teaspoon in there. That's a good electrolyte water mix that you can drink. Drink that in the morning. The first thing you do when you wake up, you're going to go and make that, and you're going to drink that. You're going to get very hydrated. You're going to get your energy. That is going to feel good. You're going to be surprised of how good you feel after drinking that. It's better than coffee. And then you can go have your coffee, right? So you can also use, there's a company called Element. That's my favorite company, because they give you the sodium chloride, the right amount of sodium chloride. They give you the right amount of potassium and the right form and the amount of magnesium. Those are the 3 major electrolytes that you need to bring back in. That company is called Element, and they spell it like this, LMNT. Element. I think I have them saved in my TikTok shop. They used to be on TikTok shop. I don't know. I get mine through Amazon and on their actual website page. So Element, that's an amazing company. They know exactly what you need. They know what keto does. They know that you need that. That salt is life. You have to have salt. They understand that, and they're very intelligent. They do a lot of research and do their own research and all kinds of stuff. It's amazing to read their articles on their website. It's amazing. So check them out. Doesn't salt get high blood pressure? No. So we went over, you probably missed that. You missed that with blood pressure. So insulin resistant. If you're insulin resistant, I'm going to go over this again for you, okay? Keto salt capsules. I don't know what those are. I would have to look those up to see what's actually in those. If that's a product, the keto salt capsules, I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to look those up. That's interesting. So Tara, is it Tara Card? Tara, I'm just going to call you Tara. Taro. Okay. So salt. This is what's happening in your body, why you have high blood pressure from salt. It's not salt's fault, it's insulin's fault. When you are insulin resistant, your pancreas is producing more insulin to try to control your blood sugar. So that's hyperinsulinemia. This is why you want to ask your doctor to check a fasting insulin. When insulin levels are elevated, especially when they're chronically elevated, but when they're elevated, it tells your kidneys to hold on to salt. And salt and water go together, right? So when you hold on to salt, you're going to hold on to some more water. So that's why your doctor tells you to go on a low sodium diet. It's not really sodium's fault. It's sodium is salt. It's not sodium's fault. It's insulin's fault. So if you start doing a healthy ketogenic diet, you're going to keep your insulin levels low. What's going to happen is that you're going to start expelling. Your kidneys are not going to hold on to so much sodium. So which means they're not going to hold on to so much fluid that's causing the bigger volume in your blood vessels, causing a blood pressure problem. You might be on a hydrochlorothiazide or some kind of water pill to get rid of excess fluid, getting rid of edema. When you start lowering your insulin levels and keeping them low, you're going to start peeing a lot, and because you're not holding on to so much sodium, your kidneys it's getting that response because insulin's low to not hold on to so much sodium. So you're going to be peeing a lot. This is why you have blood pressure. If you have blood pressure, this is one of the reasons why. So it's not sodium's fault. It's insulin's fault. So when you start controlling your insulin, you're going to start controlling your sodium and water, holding on to water. This is why you need to bring in water with electrolytes and sodium chloride. Yeah, that's a lot of sodium. Do you sweat a lot? I'm not going to try to say your name. You start with an N. Nura. Yeah, I can't say that name. Yeah, I'm going to call you N. That's a lot of sodium. You probably sweat a lot. Did you go to the gym, sweat a lot? Or whatever you're doing. But yeah, that is because like the upper recommendations is like 3,000 to 5,000. And that depends on if you're sweating a lot. But if it makes you feel good, then your body needs it. Yes, it's insulin's fault. It's always insulin's fault. Insulin is the bully on the playground. It can. So Mama Sky, that's a good question. Where you're at, when you start transitioning from sugar burner to fat burner, there is a kind of like a stress response that your body can go through because it's trying to figure this out. It's trying to figure out how to break down the fat and use that as energy. So that can cause a little stress response, can increase some cortisol or adrenaline or anything. This is where people can sometimes get restless because your body's trying to figure that out. Keep going. Again, make sure you're hydrated because if you are losing a lot of electrolytes, this can also cause a stress response. So make sure you got your electrolytes and you're hydrating. Magnesium glycinate can help if you're having sleep issues. Take that at night. That would be great. Talk to your doctor, right? That could be a great supplement to add in if you need it. But yeah, it can, those cortisol and that stress response can bump your blood pressure. But if it's fluctuating, so Mom of Sky, because you said you lost a lot of edema, I don't remember if you told me that if you were on a water pill, if you're still taking it, if you sit down and you stand up and you get a little woo, that is a volume problem. That is a fluid and electrolyte issue. It's orthostatic hypotension. So you can have a low blood pressure or a higher heart rate because of that. Because if you're still on a water pill and you're losing all this fluid, you really need to talk to your doctor to adjust that. Good to know. Blood pressure is up. I'm going to keep going. Yeah. So make sure you're getting that hydration and that's going to help a lot, right? And the magnesium and stuff like that's going to really help with that. What causes you to almost feel lethargic after a protein shake or eating in general? Justin Allen 73, that could be a sign of insulin resistance. So, protein, I don't know your history, so it's kind of hard to determine just by, one sentence. But what I'm going to say is if you're insulin resistant, that causes low blood sugar problems. So depending on what's in your protein shake. So do you have a lot of carbs and sugar in your protein shake? What are you mixing the protein shake with? How many carbs are in that? Because if you're just drinking the shake, what's going to happen is that's going to spike your insulin, and it can come down quicker because you don't have fat, you don't have anything with that shake. And depending on how many carbohydrates are in that shake, if you're insulin resistant, you're going to produce probably more insulin, and that could drop you and just kind of make you feel blah. So check your shake, what's in it, what are you mixing it with, because you shouldn't have a lot of, if you're trying to do like a healthy ketogenic diet to reverse insulin resistance, to control these blood sugar spikes and insulin and all these things, you want to keep that sugar under control. So with protein shakes or protein powders, make sure there's no carbs in it, right? You also want to blend that with a fat, like put an avocado in there or mix it with some full fat Greek yogurt, or something like that. Put some fat with it so that doesn't, because you're still going to spike insulin a little bit with protein, especially with the protein powders and shakes, because certain amino acids require insulin. And with the shakes and the powders, it's already broken down. Your stomach and your liver and your whole digestive system doesn't need to work hard to break that down because it's already broken down. So you can spike that insulin up a little more. So if you pair it with like a fat, that's going to help that insulin spike. Hope that makes sense. I started Unicity. Should I cancel my subscription and just do keto? That is completely up to you. So Unicity can be used as a tool. I hear a lot of positive things about that. It could be used as a tool to get you started. I do suggest that you change your diet as well, so eventually you can come off of something like that, because it is expensive. If you change your diet, change your lifestyle with that, then you could start coming off of that, right? So use it as a tool. If you already subscribe, use it as a tool for a little bit, but change your diet along with it, so that way you don't have to be dependent on that. When you change your diet and your lifestyle, you're building those habits, exercise and all that stuff. I teach all this in my course, you guys. So healthy keto I give you tasks to do every single day for 21 days. If you're interested, you can look at this course. It's up in the link in my bio. And I also have a free ebook up there that's got a list of foods. So whichever way you want to go. But that is going to be user 372. Do it for, I don't know what the subscriptions are, I'm assuming a month. Use it as a tool to maybe get you into start your healthy lifestyle. Scylla, hi. I'm just looking if I missed anything. I do usually bananas, blueberries, organic milk. Yep, all of that. Besides the blueberries, the milk is lactose. I don't know if it's full fat milk or skim, but bananas are very high in sugar. And I don't know if it's a full fat milk or raw milk or anything that you're using, because that's got lactose in it. That's going to spike your blood sugar too. The blueberries aren't bad. Just keep them in a small amount, but you need to pair that with a fat. Thank you for the share. Proper handling is always key. That is always key. Getting full fast when eating. So our cave one. Hi, welcome back. So you're bloating. Pay attention to what you're eating. Something's not agreeing with you. POTS is very common after COVID. Look at your electrolytes. Justin Allen, 73, because of that orthostatic hypotension, that POTS, that uneasy, unbalanced. I don't know if you've ever tried to really get your electrolytes up to see if that doesn't help your potassium, magnesium, sodium chloride. That could be just trying a supplement like Element and drinking that to see if that helps. You're very welcome. That's a great goal, is to try not to have soda. Try not to have soda. So anybody who drinks soda, this is what I recommend. When you're trying to wean off of it, go to a sparkling water that doesn't have sugar in it. So like a bubbly or something, just go to a sparkling water, because that gives you the carbonation that you're used to. Plus it gives you hydration. So try to switch out your sodas. You know, you can taper down off of it, but switch it to a sparkling water to see if that doesn't help. Okay. We didn't finish cholesterol. I started answering questions. So there's people who had cholesterol. If you have high cholesterol, I went over the reasons why cholesterol is very important, but why can you have high cholesterol? One of them is if you're having a lot of damaged areas in the body, your cholesterol can be elevated. But if you have a fatty liver, if you're not producing enough bile, right? If you have a lot of gas, bloating, constipation, any of that, and you have elevated cholesterol levels, that could be why. Because your liver, your bile, your small intestine, what that does is it recycles cholesterol. So your liver makes cholesterol. It gets eliminated through the bile. So if you're not producing enough bile, you're not going to eliminate excess cholesterol to get it down to the intestines, so the intestines can recycle it back to the body, or you go and eliminate it out by going to the bathroom. So you have to have good digestion and good bile flow. This is why you can get gallstones, because they are cholesterol stones, because we're not eating the fat, right? We stopped eating fat, so we stopped using our gallbladder, but your liver is still going to make cholesterol, and that cholesterol needs to get eliminated through the bile. So if you're not eating the fat, you don't have a healthy bile flow, you're going to make little stones, which can cause gallstones. So that is very important. You need to make sure that you are supporting your liver when you do a healthy ketogenic diet. This is getting the fiber in. So all those above ground vegetables that have fiber support the liver to get that going. That'll support the gut. You can use bitters or anything like that. Start with healthy fats like your olive oils, your avocado oils, MCT oils, coconut oil, to start utilizing your bile, right? To start getting that flowing again. That is going to be helpful to start eliminating this excess cholesterol like you're supposed to. Also, you want your HDLs to be elevated. HDLs are your good fat, right? It's your good fat. You want those up because HDLs bring cholesterol that's out in the body back to the liver to be recycled. LDLs bring it out to the body for your body to do whatever it needs to. So you need those HDLs up. This is why a healthy ketogenic diet is so important, because you need healthy fats. You have to have healthy fats to support your cholesterol. That is so important. Plus the fiber from the vegetables and stuff like that is going to help heal and help support the liver and the bile and get that all flowing, because you need to recycle your cholesterol and get it out of the body so you have these normal cholesterol levels. That is very, very, very important. HDL elevation is amazing. You want bluey, that is perfect. I don't know what your number is, but it should be like 70s, 80s, like it should be up there. You do not get HDLs from wine. No, that's actually going to hurt your liver. Any alcohol, doesn't matter what kind of alcohol it is hard on the liver. And you want to support your liver. So you get HDLs from your healthy fats, like your olive oils, your extra virgin olive oils, your fatty fishes. Those are very important. Your monounsaturated fats, like your avocados, those are great. You want those in. You want the coconut oils. You want things like that to get those HDLs up. Your hubby is 150, very, very thin, and cannot lose weight. He wants to do this. Yes. He can do that. He might, Mom of Sky, if he has signs of insulin resistance, does he have any of those? Because he could have a lot of visceral fat, even though he's lean. So this is going to help eliminate the visceral fat and any liver fat too, if he's got any of that. But he needs to make sure that he's getting in enough calories from healthy fats and enough protein to support his muscle, right? You have to get that in. That's very, very important. And continue to do resistance training to support the muscles as well, because that's all going to help. He's going to lose some weight, and it's going to be in the form of water initially. That's going to come back. But initially you can lose some water weight because men have more muscle mass, so therefore they're going to hold on to more glycogen, and then they have more water in their muscles. So they're going to lose that water weight at the beginning. That's just, that happens, but it's going to come back at the beginning. That's just, that happens, but it's going to come back. Yeah, if he doesn't have any of that, then tell him to just do a normal, if he doesn't have signs of insulin resistance, he can do the same thing, but he can add in some carbohydrates, some healthy carbohydrates around weight training. So eat a potato on the day that he's going to lift some weights so he can support his muscles. That will help. That style of eating, that is what everybody should start striving to when you get to your health goal. I teach this in my course because you do not have to be on a strict ketogenic diet for the rest of your life. You need to switch over to a healthy way of living, a normal, realistic way of eating. This is called a targeted approach, right? So carbohydrates help repair and fuel the muscles. When you tear them down in the gym, you need, carbohydrates will pull in the water and the glycogen and the amino acids. So this is why you put a potato with a steak, right? To bring that in to repair the muscles, to make them bigger. You want more muscle tissue. Everybody should be striving for more muscle tissue. Every single person needs to have muscle tissue. That is your longevity tissue. You need that. Very important. You're very welcome. Use very important. You're very welcome. User 372, somebody else mentioned that too. I do have a YouTube channel, but I don't do enough on there at all. I should take these and put them over there. That's a good idea. Although it's different, so I'd have to figure out how to format it. Because this is horizontal. I'm sorry. It needs to be horizontal. These are vertical. So I don't know. I'm not a technology. I'm challenged in that at times. That's a good idea. I need to do that. All right, you guys. So skin problems can be caused from the inflammation in the blood system. There's a lot of inflammation in your vascular system. If you're not getting enough nutrients to the skin, you're going to have skin problems like skin tags, psoriasis. I have rosacea, all that stuff. PCOS. If anybody on here has PCOS that's listening, polycystic ovarian syndrome, you can just put a number 4 in the comments and I'll go over that. If nobody is on here that has PCOS, then I won't, if you've been on my lives before and we went on over it before, it's up to you. Just let me know, because that is Nicole. Hi. So PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome. What that means is that you have high insulin levels. This is what's causing the polycystic ovarian syndrome. What insulin does. So you have the symptoms of you're infertile or your irregular periods. You may have acne or cystic acne. You have a belly. You have hair thinning. You have hair growing where it's not supposed to be growing. All of those types of symptoms. It all goes down to the ovaries are insulin resistant. It's a form of insulin resistance, because when your cells start resisting insulin, insulin's job is to control your blood sugars and bring them in the cells. So when your cells stop responding to insulin, you're going to produce more and more insulin. Nicole, I want you to, next time you go to your OBGYN or your doctor, whatever doctor you want to ask for a fasting insulin test, because you're going to see that your insulin levels are very high. When insulin levels are very high, it causes a disruption in your hormones. So when your insulin levels are high, you're going to produce more luteinizing hormone, which acts, that's from the pituitary, that acts down on the ovaries, going to mature cells too quickly. So it's called theca cells, if you want to know any of that. But it's from the hyperinsulinemia, causing a disruption of your ovaries. So your eggs go in a cycle, our cycle. So they go in this cycle, right? And it's very delicate. It's very balanced of hormones, right? The estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, all those is a very delicate cycle. If something is off, like insulin is too high, making you produce more luteinizing hormone, it's going to disrupt that delicate cycle and cause you to have irregular periods, cause you to be infertile. The other thing that does is it acts on the DHEA. So when you have a lot of androgens, it's going to make you have more androgens, these high insulin levels. You're going to have higher androgen levels. This also goes back to the liver, because the liver produces sex-binding hormone globulin, and you can get that tested too if you want, sex-binding hormone globulin. If that's not being produced because the liver is overworked and overwhelmed because of the insulin and the blood sugar issues, you're not going to produce that. What that does is it binds excess testosterone. So if that's not being produced, you're going to have higher testosterone levels, which is causing all the male characteristics like the thinning hair, the hair growing where you're not supposed to be growing, causes a lot of skin problems. So you have to reverse the insulin resistance. And by doing that, you need to control insulin levels and bring them down. You control insulin levels by eating the foods that don't spike blood sugar, because those go hand in hand. So if you do a healthy ketogenic diet, you can grab my free ebook or look into my course to help you. That is going to keep your insulin levels low and keep your blood sugar stable. That's eventually going to fix all your hormones. You're going to lose belly fat. Everything is going to just start fixing. You're going to start regulating all your hormones. It's amazing. By diet change, you're going to fix that, Nicole. I hope that makes sense. Do you have questions? If you have questions, let me know. Yes, your hair will get thicker. If you're doing it healthy, right? You need to bring in the vitamins. You need to bring B vitamins in. If you're doing, Nicole, you're very, very welcome. You can always ask questions. Grab my free ebook that's got a list of foods and sample meals. Look into my course if you need more help, because I'll help you with exercise, sleep, stress. Get in a community where you ask me questions. I teach you labs and a private coaching call as well. So all that's combined into this course if you want to look at that. If not, there's a free ebook at the top of my page as well. But yes, your hair is going to get thicker because you have to do keto in a healthy way. You have to bring in nutrition. This is so, so important. The B vitamins, all the minerals, the micro minerals, the protein, you have to get the protein. Although Mama Sky, I think you said you're doing carnivore, so you should be getting, you need to get a wide variety of protein, right? You need to get all the protein. Fatty fishes and stuff like that for the fat soluble, for the healthy fats, right? You need to get all of that in there. Okay, you guys, I'm going to get off here in about 10 minutes. If you have any questions, now's the time. If you want to subscribe to the subscription for TikTok, I have that. I will do a sub only live on Sunday at 11 Central Standard Time. Sunday at 11 Central Standard Time. If you are a subscriber of mine, join me then, because I will dedicate more time one-on-one with my subscribers to get a good plan for you, to figure out what's going on one-on-one with you and get you a plan to start. And you can come join every week, right? Every Sunday I'm going to start doing these. So look into those. If you want more guidance with keto and exercise and learning resistance training and how to do this all very safely, check out my course. I would love for you to be in it and join the community where you could ask me questions one-on-one as you're going through and building habits every single day for 21 days. I have tasks for you to do every day for 21 days so that you can start building habits to start your keto lifestyle, right? What was that? That just went. I don't know what that was. I just kind of just had a stream of something going up there. What times do you do these lives? I have a friend I want to. What is today? Friday. I'm going to try to do this live again tomorrow night. Tomorrow's Saturday, right? I'm going to do my best to get back on here again tomorrow at 7. So grab, you did the 1 month. Yay. All right. I will see you Sunday. I'll see you Sunday at 11 Central Standard Time. So whatever time zone you're in. So I'll be on there for like an hour or an hour and a half, depending on how many subscribers come in that need some assistance. So I'm kind of going to play that by ear because this is a new thing. This is a new thing that I just started with TikTok. So we'll see how this goes. I'm excited to do it though. All right. All right, and then I will try to do this live again tomorrow. We'll do 7 Central Standard Time again. 7 p.m. Okay, if nobody else has any questions, check out, I have resources through the link at the top of my page. Check out my subscriptions. If not, DM me, whatever you need. I'm here to help you guys however I can help you, all right? Have a good rest of your Friday and be safe. I will see you tomorrow.